Hi guys, welcome back to the Backheel podcast. We are back after a very, very, very long recording of a quiz that I thought was going to take us maybe 20 minutes. It took us 50 minutes. I am joined once again. Yeah, he's talking already. We're joined by Pete. Yeah, but we've got the fabulous Savoury Dip with us and the wonderful Phil from It's Over the Line.
Yeah, where's Kev?
Kev's not here. I'm missing Kev. We didn't mention it for the entire thing until the very end. We're sorry, Kev. Kev, if you watch this one, thanks. But people would have seen you on the ears. But enjoy America. Boys, I want to do a proper podcast today. Within reason. Let's not make it as long as it has been.
So really,
within reason.
You've got the wrong people.
But I want to actually talk about the World Cup. Despite everything, this World Cup's actually... It's been alright, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's not been terrible.
It's weird that it's been in the winter, but it does definitely still have that World Cup vibe that I was worried it wasn't going to have.
I've really enjoyed it.
You enjoy it because, like, it makes your work less miserable. Because you don't enjoy it in the summer. You don't enjoy it in the summer when it's on because you're like, oh, I'd rather be out in the sun. Where I'm like, I can sit and watch the football on my phone.
It's a killer though. They've stopped the early games because I did love the early games.
Yeah, those 10 o'clock games are a massive mess.
It was.
We need 10 o'clock games back.
They were weird. They were weird. Where is the next? Oh, the next one's the come one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Canada, United States of America, and Mexico. It's come,
which is gonna be weird because the games will be like
bad times.
Yeah, like I'm guessing like 1 o'clock in the morning ish. The late one will be.
Oh, no. More than likely, yeah.
I'm guessing just because away the time Raw starts.
Yeah,
for the late kickoff.
For the late,
so
the one final definitely will be.
Yeah, the one before it'll be like what 9 o'clock? Do you reckon?
Yeah, group stages will be lovely. They'll be sort of.
We get the early kickoffs.
6, 9, and 12. Maybe?
Yeah, something like that. Oh,
they reckon there might be 48 teams next time though, with 3 teams in each group.
Yeah, well, at least that'll be in the summer, though. I assume, anyway.
Yeah, it is in summer, June.
But that is one I'm looking forward to and I want to go to and dream to go to. I would love to go to a game in Mexico. That'd be class, because that's a country that breathes football, isn't it?
Fingers crossed for the Euros, so thinking.
Yeah, you want about going to the Germany, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can.
I'm hoping. Dream scenario is England get through, and we're based in Dortmund or Cologne. That's the dream.
I'm hoping Hamburg because the next door neighbour's son lives in Hamburg, so I'll go say it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's for the future. Let's talk about what was going on this sort of the last few weeks. Because I just want to talk to you about a few things. I've got a few things jotted down. Obviously, you've seen them as well. But I just wanted to talk about your standout teams of the tournament so far. Because there's been some really weird results, but yet none of the teams that have produced really weird results have got through. Which is even weirder.
Yeah. So for me, my standout team up until today was Japan.
And obviously, we're currently on Brazil 4, South Korea 0 for everyone's knowledge for recording.
Japan were, apart from the Costa Rica game, they were excellent. They're against Spain and Germany.
I thought they looked like they if we got them at any point, I don't know how we would have got them, but if we had got them, they looked like they were going to be mega hard to break down.
Yeah,
which was
full of running, full of energy. I was saying on the CGH Discord earlier, they are one world-class striker away from being a really, really, really good team.
Well, that's it. One of their best players is Minamino, and it's like for like going forwards, and that's just bonkers. Like, yeah, okay, the kid's all right, but he's not like like South Korea. They've got Son, who's one of the best strikers in the world.
Yeah,
what he does. So, I agree. They are completely missing something going forwards, but.
Yeah,
but again, they didn't even take. I don't think they took. What's his face from
Kyogo
from Celtic? Like, cause
yeah.
So he looks like the real deal.
Is it? I forgot his name now. Their defensive midfielder plays in Germany for Stuttgart.
Hasibi?
Captain. No,
he plays.
Endo, is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Might be Endo. He's Stuttgart's captain anyway, and they were saying in the game, in the commentary earlier, that for the last 2 seasons he's made the most tackles and most interceptions in the Bundesliga.
Oh yeah, it would be
the last
Endo.
2 seasons.
It would be Endo. Yeah.
So it shows you how good of a player he is if he's doing that.
The thing is, they look organised as well.
They're
totally organised.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a shame that they've gone out.
Just felt like the substitutions kind of felt rushed.
Yeah.
That they made. Like, I think probably, is it Maeda probably could have carried on another 10 or 15 minutes. He was their focal point. He was what was.
I think what sums it up for them as well.
Yeah.
Before the World Cup, if you were thinking about any players you're excited to see, you wouldn't have named one player.
No.
Not from Japan, no. So they were definitely a team that really sort of surprised me. Just trying to think what else we had. Phil, have you got anybody that's sort of taken your eye?
Yeah. What players or teams?
We'll stick for the teams for now.
Still we're going teams. So just to throw another name into the mix, I'm going to probably go Italy, I think.
I didn't know that was coming. You're a moron.
The Netherlands.
Really, I actually thought at times they were a bit underwhelming. Funnily enough.
No, it's a typical Louis van Gaal team, and I love Louis van Gaal as a coach. I wish it had worked more at United, but some of the goals they've scored, real good team goals. They look like they've got another gear in them as well. So that if you're coming up against them in the latter stages of this tournament, I think they're going to be difficult to beat. And they can be hit and miss tournament-wise, but I think this time round they're a hit. I really like them. I like the look of them.
They definitely looked a lot stronger when they played the Americans the other day. But then again, you look at this. This is mad, by the way. We're saying they look better. America, 58% possession. America, 17 shots to Holland's or Netherlands is 11. America, 8 shots on target to their 6. And that's just mad that USA absolutely dominated them for stats on paper.
Yeah. I haven't been impressed by Holland, I must say.
You have
or haven't? Was that it?
Haven't.
They were the team I really thought were going to flop this.
Go on.
I think they'll come up against a good side. They'll get unstuck, I think.
Who have they got in the next round? I'm just looking at the thing now. They get Argentina, who again, funnily enough, they're another team that will have gone.
Yeah,
they don't.
They're beatable.
They will. That will be a good game. That there's history there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It was weird. I said to you, I did say to you though, when they lost to Saudi Arabia, by the way, Argentina, that this started like their supervillain story. I said on the Discord, didn't I, that this could be Argentina's turning point and watch them just go on a storming run to the final. But they've just not really hit that second gear. No, they're still looking like they're sort of like they look like they're in pre-season tournament rather than sort of middle of a way through an actual normal season.
I know what you mean.
They should all be at a much higher level than they would be at a normal World Cup.
Do you know what it's reminded me of?
Fit and ready to go. What's that?
Messi's a great player, but whenever I watch him against British teams, like Champions League, he just never really has that wow factor about him.
I watched him rip Arsenal apart.
Yeah. It seems like in the World Cup, he's had a couple of good games, but then the other day he scored. But it was that magical Messi moments. I'm still waiting for it. And it just, I don't know what it is.
See.
He's not looking.
That goal he scored against. Who was it? Can't think now.
He's definitely not
outside
looking.
the box one. That was a good goal.
He's definitely not looking the world's best.
The one before that.
I think it was the game after Saudi, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Can't remember who it was against.
Oh, was it the second game? You think was it?
I think so. The one touch, you set outside the box, it went to the bottom.
Yeah,
right corner.
I was thinking that was the third game. You're thinking maybe Mexico. Yeah, he did score in that goal. Yeah.
I'm just thinking out of
it was
World Cup so far. He's not them. The two players that are supposed to be the goats Yeah,
but they are of an age now. To be fair, they are past their prime. The shine was going to disappear eventually. It always was going to.
Yep.
Yeah. They're not the sort of players that were ever going to finish at that absolute peak like some players did.
Yeah.
Some players finished at their absolute peak because they didn't want to do that deterioration and dropping down a slight bit of quality. But again, that's because Messi and Ronaldo both won the World Cup.
Yeah.
I always thought this World Cup kind of like the passing of the torch for them too. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame Haaland's not there.
Yeah, they were never gonna light it up, so to speak.
Can the two teams face each other at any point?
I believe it's still
the
there.
final.
They are the final, aren't they?
Yeah.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? But...
No, I couldn't give a shit.
I'd be bored, honestly.
I honestly couldn't give a shit about either of them anymore. Both will lose and just.
Yeah, I think if you get to the final, and they both get into the final, though, it will finally be like, okay, right. I think we can finally settle any debate then.
Yeah,
like if someone's got the World Cup, it's like it's a big thing that takes you over the line, isn't it?
I think they both. I think whoever wins it, if it was them two, they're going to be the last thing they win in it. So
yeah,
I think so. Yeah, because unless you count the Farmers League of PSG, but.
And Al Nassr.
And whoever ends up at Inter Miami, because one of them's going to end up by Inter Miami by the sounds of things. Or they
it's something that you wanted to have seen like 8 years ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But for me, it would still be cool.
That Brazil World Cup final, Argentina versus Portugal, would have been nuts. That would have been fantastic. But again, I mean, we've moved on to players a little bit. So, is there any players that you've thought, geez, you're playing bloody well? For me,
Jude Bellingham.
Yeah. Well, Jude's there, 100%. And I was saying to my lad, I put Jude inside the top 5 centre midfielders in the world right now.
Yeah.
But Giroud is such a big player for France right now that he's also up there for me. Like
Gakpo. As well, this World Cup.
Gakpo, yeah, from Dutch.
But I tell you who has been my favourite player in the World Cup.
Who's that?
Vincent Aboubakar.
Oh, what a hero! What a hero!
He's done fantastic.
Can we applaud him and the referee for their performance the other night?
But not only that,
he scores a goal against Brazil. He knows he's going out. He knows he's on a yellow card. Fuck it, I might as well make this my World Cup. Celebrates, takes his shirt off, gets his second yellow card, and then he walks over to the ref, and the ref goes, puts his hand out to shake his hand.
Yeah.
They shake hands, they laugh. He sends him off, and he's like, "Yep."
The ref said he felt really bad. But not only that, he's one of the players. A couple of times he's come off the bench in the first couple of games, and he's one of those players that changed the whole game.
He's a good player. He's a good player.
He changed the game, and it was like, why aren't you playing him from the beginning for the first couple of games? Because he's one of those players that come on and just change the team. And I was like, do you know what? It really showed how good he was.
Cameroon, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good player. He was. I don't know if he's still at. Where is he at now? He was at Porto. Oh
no, actually, I think he's over in Saudi.
That's one I thought of actually. Is the lad from Iran, the striker Tahimi,
the one that scored against us.
Yeah, he looked good. The one plays for Porto.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the first thing I've seen of him because I haven't caught much of the Champions League this year. North Phil. Sorry, that was so unnecessary. That was so unnecessary. I'm sorry, Phil.
Wow.
Dip Seymour just having championship.
Yeah.
But he's looked the bollocks, I thought.
Yeah.
Also, yeah,
you come across players that change teams completely.
And he is definitely up there. Who's been crap?
For me,
there's
who?
Germany.
Teams.
Wow.
all German players.
All German players.
Germany
Terrible.
Have been poor. Belgium have been
the
obviously
biggest
poor out as well.
Oh,
How
Lukaku.
How do you Yeah, I mean, fair play.
Lukaku's misses the other day.
If he's gonna go out as having a shocker tournament, might as well do it properly. He did, and then he beat up the dugout as well, didn't he?
The one player that really disappointed me was Musiala. I had so high hopes for him in this World Cup.
Well, I'd say
he's still only 18. It's hard.
The little bits that he played, he did still look very, very good.
Yeah,
but I think the biggest shock for me is Ronaldo. Such a bad tournament.
I mean, he's still in the tournament, Pete. I don't think you can.
No, but he's just been very quiet for Ronaldo.
Let's not say anything about Ronaldo, I suppose, because he's going to do Ronaldo things to just appear from nowhere. But he's been poor all season, so
yeah, it's not a new thing, is it?
No, so it's not someone that's been poor by their standards as such, as based on what his form's been like. Rashford, by the way, whilst we're on a sort of all about Man United players, and Maguire.
I was about to say, I tell you now,
where have these players come from?
It's weird, isn't it?
Who are these new players you've signed, Phil?
Phil, I tell you now, if you didn't have him, I guarantee Man United have been like, how much Harry Maguire? Because you would have been like, this is what we need. A defender that can go out, push forward a bit.
My lad asked me. He says, "Oh, Harry Maguire's still crap, though, isn't he?" I was like, "Yeah, but you put him in an England shirt. I think I put him in the top 6 centre backs in the world.
He's not really put
mad,
he's not done anything wrong. I said to my lad, I was like, I wouldn't put him in top 3, but I think top 6 would be about fair."
I tell you, he lacks a better pace. He lacks a better pace than our last game. But other than that, he's not put a foot wrong, really.
But
he's gone forward well.
That's the main thing. That's the thing that England have such a big advantage of. Our set pieces, we look dangerous because we have Maguire, who's worldy in the air, and Stones isn't bad.
Not only that, did you see at one point where Maguire was pushing forward? I think it was against Wales. He didn't have no one to put a shot to. There was no one to pass it, so he carried on making the run, and he put a really bad ball across. But he carried on going.
It's what he used to do. Then that was the bit.
The
bit was good about his game.
I remember the goal he scored against Tranmere in the cup.
Tranmere. I was trying to think who it was. Yeah. Yes, I know the one. He makes it look.
I think with Maguire,
easy sometimes.
The bad times he's had with United have clearly outweighed the good that he has done. He's not been bad all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Rashford, he's always been there. It just needed that manager to bring it out of him, and I think he's got that in Erik ten Hag.
Yeah. It's a question I've got to ask you, Phil. Is this the case of because Maguire's playing so well, is that we're playing a system that suits Maguire rather than Maguire being pigeonholed into the team that Ten Hag puts out, pigeonholed into a team that Ollie puts out, a team that Ralph Rangnick puts out? Is it a case of he's just they've got a certain style and they're making him play that way, whereas Southgate's gone, okay, this is my this is my defence.
He said he's starting from the defence.
How can I get the best out of them? Rather than them saying, the club level, how can I get the best players into those positions that I want? Which is where maybe Maguire is let down. Which is where it suits Martinez, maybe.
It probably is to a degree, but I also think there's a lot of it is... I don't think there's less pressure randomly playing for your country than there is for playing for Man United. And I know we've not been great over the last few seasons, but it's still Manchester United at the end of the day. It's a massive pressure. And I just don't think Maguire handles that all that well some of the time. And when he doesn't, he looks really, really bad. But you could say that for a lot of players. You could say that about Pogba. Pogba's immense for France. And he was good for United at times, but when he was poor, he was poor. And I think it's...
I think the reason with him, a lot of that was he didn't care about league football, where he was. It's France for him.
And
I don't buy into that so much. I just think it's...
I think the Pogba one's kind of it's a harder one because Pogba was carried by Kante. Still, I still think that the last World Cup he was still. So basically, everything that Pogba doesn't like, Kante did for him, and that was the bit that, like, the whole like he would make those runs when Pogba wanted to. But when you're playing in centre midfield, that doesn't work. Like, those runs forwards or those runs back, that works for a player like Messi because they're out the way. That works for a player like Mbappe. Mbappe was doing it the other night. He was just, or last night. Was it last night? Yesterday. What day are we on? Where he just sort of does these little walks in and out of the defence, and then all of a sudden he'll be gone.
Yeah.
And then the next time he won't. But Pogba tries to do that, and he tries to do that in the centre midfield, which I think was where the problem he had at Man United. Whereas, like I said, it's expectation at Man United, where you're expected to be a midfielder
massive.
and
it's
play.
Still massive.
Well, you're expected to play in a certain way, which makes it hard. So you're expected to play in a certain way that a fan expects, but that might not be the certain way that a manager wants, and that's where a big clash comes. Because I think look at it from outside, a Man United team. In a centre midfield, you want a lot of players that do a lot of running and put it in the shift, make sure they get any result possible. Basically what you had under Fergie, yeah? With the likes of Keane, Park Ji-sung. They're sort of the main two that got praise for the putting it about.
Yeah.
Whereas Pogba was never going to do that, ever. Which is why I don't think he suits it. But is this where the expectation of what the manager wants and what the fans want clashing again for Maguire? Bringing it back to Maguire, because Pogba's not even at this World Cup.
No. I think for Maguire, if this confidence thing if it is a confidence thing and it is the pressure, if he goes to another Premier League club, I think you'll see a great Harry Maguire, because it shows how good he is.
And this is my point. So this is my point. This is all about expectation and pressure.
Yeah.
He doesn't make the mistakes that he was making for Man United. For England, he's complete. So he'll get too tight to a play for United. He'll be rash. He'll jump in and he'll make mistakes. He'll give fouls away.
He's comfortable.
He'll be out of position. Doesn't do that for England, and I think a lot of that is different formations in the setup. I get that, but I think it's pressure, and I just think, unfortunately, he's one of the players that we've signed over the years who just can't handle playing for Man United.
Yeah, so it's a weird, but it is bloody strange though, the fact that he can switch it on and off. That's the bit I don't understand.
He will, like Pete just said, he will sign for another team. Probably in the summer.
He'll thrive,
and you'll see the best Harry Maguire. You on a consistent basis. You just will.
But again, who even a World Cup, because everyone's gone, yeah, he's good for England, but he won't be able to do it at club level. And I think people are starting looking at it just like at club level as well, not just against.
I would say he was probably better. Leicester got the better out of him than United got out of him.
Again, expectations are lower. That's the thing. But again, that makes him a poorer player.
Well.
Well.
It's interesting.
So, question. You're looking at maybe getting Champions League football. If you're Newcastle, do you look to try and sign him?
I was about to say, I was going to say Newcastle would be perfect because he's already better than what they've got there at centre back.
Yeah,
I think him and Sven might do a good job.
Yeah, it'd be a decent. They'll do well. And there's not as much pressure on him as you're going straight in. We need you now, because when Man United.
But then again, it's that Geordie pressure.
There'd be more pressure
on
Harry Maguire at Newcastle than would have Man United. 100%.
That's the other thing as well. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
because if you have one bad game, they're on your back straight away.
Yeah, if not more, definitely the same. An even level. They're definitely not easier on you than Man United are, for sure.
Oh, I don't know. He came back from injury, and
there's more pressure. There's more pressure on Harry Maguire playing for England than there is Man United.
I think there is. He just seems more comfortable.
There is.
It's a weird one. I don't understand how he.
Sure.
Is it the armband? Is it being captain?
It's just Man United aren't very good, and he's just made to look poor in a poor team.
I mean there is a huge part of that.
The England team would wipe the floor with Man United team.
I was about to say you've got to look at one thing as well, Phil.
Yeah, I agree with
that. The one thing you've got to look at is, and which is
nice because it never used to be that with England and Man United.
You've even said this, Phil. The two players in front of him at Man United compared to the two players in front of them at England, there's defensive midfielders. You've got McTominay and Fred.
Although you've got Casemiro now, yeah.
Yeah.
But so
compared to what
season, you get it. I still, and it's not a biased thing. It really isn't. I really do believe. You'll ask my dad this, and he'll tell you. I've spoken about my dad a few times on loads of videos that we've done. He's been a United fan since the 50s and 60s. The expectation on Manchester United is massive, and it shouldn't be like that. For me personally, I really believe it's a bigger expectation at Man United than it is for your country. I don't know why that is.
But,
that's just my opinion.
I can't agree with that.
Is it because of the way you was before?
Yeah, if that's how it feels,
I think that's got a lot to do with it.
You've not taken what Liverpool eventually did and sort of accepted. We were a fifth, sixth place team, and that's actually where we became better. And the same with Arsenal is that they did that thing that they went, we're a Europa League team, and now they're top of the league because instantly they started thinking.
Took a step back for 4 or 5 years.
You have to do that rebuild,
reevaluate.
Maybe that is what the whole fan base is, but because this is where the problem is. They're so. It pains me to say that Man United is such a bloody world organisation compared to any other club in English football. Is that it's going to be hard to ever change that though. So like Liverpool had that change. It just sort of happened, and everyone's just sort of accepted the fact we weren't that good. Whereas
Liverpool fans didn't kick up when we signed Paul Konchesky.
Yeah.
And things like that. We were like, that's our level.
We've gone, we've signed Andy Carroll for 35 million. We're like, bargain. Why?
Yeah, that was our level.
That was a good thing in a weird way. But I don't think Man United will get that. And that could well be a problem, which is where Maguire might be the first to do this. But I'm worried he won't be the last to be able to switch it on and off for country and club. Because there's not this acceptance of not being one of the big teams or the big two as such now.
I think that mentality was a lot to do with why we were so bad in the early 2000s and stuff. Why we I just think at that particular time, club football was more important than international football.
Oh, you said England were bad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. I was thinking early 2000s. You're saying Man United are bad. I'm like that.
I think the reason why England were bad in that period is because we just kept picking the same people.
Yeah.
Game after game, whether they were playing well or not.
They couldn't.
I don't know who
players couldn't.
Sven's nudes, but they clearly did.
Yeah.
The players couldn't separate themselves from the clubs.
Yeah.
And we don't have that now. There was cliques and they were separate. United players couldn't.
I know Neville spoke about
Fergie had a big thing in that. I think
probably did. Yeah, probably he did.
Dickhead.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
that's fine. You don't get that now, though.
No,
you don't. You definitely.
All the players are good mates. You watch the videos on YouTube and stuff. They're all having a laugh and a joke. You wouldn't have got that before.
So I didn't think I'd see the day. I watched Saka doing a school spelling test with James Maddison and Jack Grealish today. He asked. I was on Saka's TikTok. He asked Maddison, "How do you spell acoustic?" Or aesthetic. It was, and then he went to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish ain't gonna know how to spell anything. How do you spell rhythm? And he was like, RHY. And I was like, oh, he's no, he got it wrong.
Leave him alone. He's the best things.
Since sliced veg. He didn't, right? Have you seen that TikTok? The other two.
Yeah.
It sounds like he said a slice. He's not. He's still saying sliced bread. It's just.
Right, well, I'll tell you what.
He's saying sliced bread. It's just because someone put veg underneath it. You hear veg.
What a goal that is.
Go back and check out the one where they've got the map of England, and ask him. They put it out to him. They went, Jack. So where do you live on this? Where do you play? And he went, what is that, England? And just looks at this big map. Didn't have a clue where it was.
Oh, Korea have scored.
Yeah, it's a worldie as well.
I have to watch.
Yeah. England are also the teams that surprised me as well while we're talking about
I was about
England.
to say,
I think
even the fact that we slated him and we didn't give him a chance in previous videos, they have
above and beyond.
Have you seen we've scored the most goals besides Brazil now, I think Brazil might beat it. But we had scored the most goals in the tournament so far before this game, and we've only conceded 2 in the whole tournament.
And we are also
in our opening match.
We are also the only team left in the tournament that hasn't had a yellow card as well.
Yeah. And our goal scorers have been through 8 different players.
And yet, I don't think we'll beat France.
I don't know.
Really?
But do you know what
I think we will.
I would
if your attitude's changed.
I honestly think we will.
I would stick the same lineup as we had already, like as last game. I would leave Kyle Walker where he is against Mbappe, but I'd have Hendo as a bit of a backup to help out.
Can we just take a minute just to appreciate how good Jordan Henderson actually is?
Yeah,
he's fucking world class.
I've said it for a long time that he doesn't get the respect he's fucking deserved.
No,
he doesn't. When he came up after leaving Sunderland and joining us, yes, side passing thing was a lot with Henderson.
Yeah,
but it was part of his development, and he was still only 22, 23 at the time, and it's when he started taking the captaincy. And then it wasn't his technical ability that started improving. It was his mental, and you saw it. And then everything started changing. And he is
he nearly left. Didn't he to go to Fulham?
He is so fucking good. Well, I've said it. What 7, 8 times on our videos now, Pete. He is a better captain than Gerrard ever was.
Well, I read Gerrard's book.
That fucking good.
And he said the time that he said about Henderson taking the armband, and everyone was in total agreement, because they said when you play football with the kid, because he was at the time, you could tell there was something special about him.
And Rooney said that exact thing about Daddy Bellingham. So
he said there's just something special about this kid. Gerrard said he was the perfect person to give the armband over to, because he would treat the club. He would just fit perfectly with that club. The same way that Bellingham would do the same for Henderson.
Yes, I need that. I need that in my life. I need the Bellingham replacing Henderson.
They work so well together.
It was
though.
It was a stroke of genius, wasn't it? The other night.
Yeah.
But I would have Kyle Walker against Mbappe. That's a bit of a mismatch. Have Hendo with him. I think them two together could keep Mbappe a bit quiet.
So what I do is I would play John Stones as the right centre-back, as we did the other night. Maguire as the left centre-back, Shaw as the left-back. I would play Walker, and I would tell him to stay with Walker. Doesn't matter, with Walker, stay with Walker. No, Walker stay with Mbappe, no matter what. Mbappe goes to the centre of the pitch, Walker stays with him. Goes to the left side of the pitch, he stays with him. Stones will cover as a right-back. Play Saka on that right wing, and then if we get a bit overloaded at times, he can drop a little bit deeper, and we can move Foden in a bit. And we play the exact same team. And
I would expect
we go to then almost like a 4 at the back with Saka then covering, and Walker just stays with Mbappe.
I would expect for the France game to go to 3 at the back.
I hope
5 at the back.
I hope we don't. I
hope we don't, but I expect us to. I expect Kyle Walker to go in as the
extra man,
3rd centre back, and then Kieran Trippier probably coming at right back.
Yeah, but then it's who do you drop? I wouldn't drop Henderson. I wouldn't drop Bellingham.
I think he drops. I think he drops one of the front 3.
We'd have to drop Saka. Foden.
Saka would probably be the one.
Was, my lad said to me as well when we were watching. He was like, he'd have started. Who did he say? He said he fucking. I could have slapped the boy. Could have slapped it for legal reasons. I didn't. Obviously, he's a Liverpool fan too, but he said he'd have started Rashford over Foden. I was like, get in the fucking bin, will you?
That was the
fucking bin.
To be fair,
the first goal was the assist from Foden. I'm like, now that's fucking why.
I thought he would have.
Nah.
I honestly thought Rashford would have started instead of Foden.
He's too.
I think people realised the spark for Foden. And did you see the build up to the game where they were talking about Foden, the World Cup, the World Cup that he won? And they was talking to the old players that he's played with, and they were saying, again, something special about this kid.
Do you know what?
And it showed how good he was.
But the thing that he does the best is that he plays simple football, which is something I teach kids all the fucking time. You see an opportunity to play the ball, play it. Don't wait for a second opportunity, or don't try and do anything else with it, which is what Rashford always does. Rashford will go, oh, actually, I can have a little dribble here and take on somebody. And then he might do something with it. He might get that goal. He might be able to take it on past someone. But at the same time, you might lose that ball. Foden did it the other night. He just knocked the ball across to Harry Kane, and then Kane went and scored. Because
Foden's just got
we went 2-on-1,
mentality.
and my lad went, yeah, but Rashford would have just took the ball past him. I'm like, because it was who was it? Koulibaly, wasn't it? Koulibaly would just come in, and Koulibaly was trying to show him down one side. Foden was here, and then Foden went, instead of just trying to take it down here, which is what Rashford would have done, he'd have got his head down and gone for it. Foden was just like, nah, I'll just knock it back that. I'll knock it back that way. And that's something I love about Foden. His football is so simple. He sees that opportunity, you take it. You might not get another one. And I love that. I think that's why he starts for me every day of the week for England. Every day.
Yep. And Jude Bellingham.
Best player of the tournament for me.
By far.
Yeah, he's been superb so far.
I think he's the best player of the tournament, full stop.
I don't know what he could do. And that's the thing is, it's him and Mbappe. There's some massive names up there. But it's just for the expectation as well. I think a lot of people didn't think he'd start every game. I think it's the first name team sheet.
I'm going to say it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it now. And it's going to be like change of attitude for you guys. The winner of the World Cup comes from that game.
Yeah.
England-France.
Mm-hmm.
I believe...
The winner of the World Cup comes from that game. Despite me saying Brazil, mind you, they don't look bad, but the winner of the World Cup comes from that game.
The problem is, the teams Brazil will play against, you get our front three and people like Bellingham and Mount behind them, Bellingham and Foden behind them. Attacking wise, I think it seems like Brazil would struggle.
Brazil have had such an easy fucking run. The fact is, they've got Croatia in the next round. It's like, you jammy bastards. So they've had who did they have in their group? So they're playing South Korea. Come on, they're playing South Korea now. They've got Croatia in the next round. They had Switzerland, Cameroon, and Serbia. Like, come on, this is teams that England would have been in 2 or 3 past.
England need to pick what they're doing. The first 30 minutes of yesterday's game, I was panicking.
Yeah,
and then we switched it on. You need to go in with that second gear straight away. You go against teams like France, Brazil, with like those 30 minutes that Senegal missed 2 easy chances. Any other club would have put them away.
But do you go more you go naturally more switched on against a bigger team?
Yeah, I think you that's my worry. Don't go so defensive straight away. Go for it.
I think it's not unusual for England to play that game and be that sloppy. They've done it before. They come through it, and then they're all right then.
But
they get to the semis.
That first West going forward though, which is something we never really had. Despite having great forwards, we've never been as good as we are now going forward.
The problem is if that first 30 minutes, if we had done that against the France Brazil, we'd have been 2-0 down within minutes.
Yeah.
For me, Jude Bellingham, you could have thrown an Arsenal shirt on him, and you could have thought he was Patrick Vieira. I think he's very much like Patrick Vieira.
Well, the fact is that obviously Rooney was saying about it on, I think it was Talk Sport. He was saying that when he played him, when he was
16,
he was 16 and he was playing for Derby. When Rooney was playing for Derby, Rooney couldn't touch the fucking ball, and if he did touch the ball, Bellingham would make sure that he'd give him a little kick in as well.
He said he left the studs in there.
Something that was a lot more experienced of a 16-year-old. It's more of a 25, 26-year-old experienced player. So he's like.
So, where do we think he'll end up?
Bellingham.
I'm praying Liverpool.
I think he's going to end up Liverpool, mate. He's a Liverpool fan as well.
They've got to pay over their odds. They've got to pay over the odds, pay whatever it takes, because when
I think he might even end up there in January.
I think when Hendo gives up, because Hendo's only got a couple of years left in him, I reckon, at that level, before he'll go, I want to pass it over.
The rumours are that he's supposed to be the parting gift. So, like you're desperate to get rid of the Glaziers. I think the rumour is that our owners have said that Bellingham is going to be the parting gift.
From what I've heard, the Liverpool
and then they're selling up completely.
He's quite close, the sale, from what I've heard.
Well,
my only problem with Bellingham, he's had such a good one, it's going to add at least 20 million onto his price.
Don't care. Don't even care. Don't fucking care.
You would.
Don't care.
You'd pay it.
You could put another
any money for it.
Yeah, another 100 on it. I wouldn't care.
200 million, it'd still be Still be a bargain.
Well,
I wouldn't rule Madrid out.
Nah, he's going Liverpool, mate. There's no doubt.
I think we're ruling Madrid out at this point.
If
you're saying where's he going next, Liverpool, I can't see it anywhere else.
No one goes to Spain anymore. You won't get any big signings.
People want to play Premier League football.
You got to play, and you don't get Premier League wages in Spain anymore because of their wage caps and things.
My only big
they
worry,
killed themselves. The Liga rules. They've absolutely killed themselves.
Yeah.
My only big worry is I know Jude Bellingham's a really good friend of someone like Jack Grealish, and that Haaland connection. He's already got that partnership. He's already got.
I don't think
if he goes there, that's it.
What will you do if he signs for United?
No chance.
He won't, mate.
What, Newcastle?
Yeah, Newcastle United. There's more chance.
I think United and them too.
The thing is, I think if one of the Premier League teams put a bid in for him and it's not Liverpool, Liverpool will put in a bid to match it.
We have to.
And he's a boyhood fan of Liverpool. And we're not exactly bad. He's gonna do it.
Yeah. And I think he knows at the end of the day, he would be the one to replace someone like Jordan Henderson.
Well, he knows. Yeah, he knows. That's it. If he wants it, he can be Anfield legend forever and be the captain for as long as he bloody wants it.
Yeah.
Which he won't get anywhere else. He ain't going to get guarantees like that anywhere. Like, you ain't going to get that guarantee at Man City. And like you said, because the expectations are so high, you're going to get that at United.
And you're the only one that'll agree with me. You're the only one that'll go, how good is it that we could be named with players like this? Finally.
Yeah.
It don't happen to us.
Yeah.
Well, just as long as it opens the door for Endo to come home, then.
And, you know, I'd like
I'd be happy
more
with it. At the end of his career, mate, let him have a year or two at Sunderland.
Yeah,
I really want Milner to do the same with Leeds. I think it'd be great for him to go back and just go, right, hang up my boots.
Yeah.
And then come to Liverpool as coach.
I think that's a talk for another day. I think that's a talk for January, isn't it? We'll get more into that. We've done about 40 minutes, which is a bit shorter than we normally go for the actual podcast. So I think we'll sort of leave it there. But come on, England!
Yeah, indeed.
And please check out the CGH quiz we did because it was really long. It won't not be as long for you, but it'll take me a lot of time to edit. It took me a lot of time to come up with the questions. So please go check it out for CGH's channel. Go and check out It's Over the Lines channel. We're going to do with his top threes. I am really looking forward to it. I always look forward to the chats that Phil makes us have. Last week was away rating the West and the worst teams of all time from the Premier League. We've had the Scholes, Gerrard and Lampard. Come check it out. So I'm interested to see what you got for us, Phil. But thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Dip. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Pete.
See you later.
Yeah.
I'll catch you in the next one. I didn't do that, but I'll catch you in the next one.